with CK Helms, Zach Bandit, Ryan Mullins, and Jeremiah Elliott.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 30 of the Good Stuff Podcast, brought to you by Blind Bandit Productions. Each and every episode of the Good Stuff Podcast is brought to you by Blind Bandit Productions. To find more about us, go to blindbanditproductions.com. I am one of your hosts, CK Helms.
I'm Zach Bandit.
And I'm Ryan Mullins.
Hey, look, Ryan's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Jeremiah is on duty, so, he's doing the firefighter thing, so he's not here today. So, sad. I know. We'll get through it, though. Don't worry, because we got Ryan, so that's good enough, right?
I don't know because Jeremiah had a top 5 list for me in substitution last week, and I don't have one for Jeremiah.
It's okay. Did you listen to last week's episode?
Yes.
He did pretty good.
Yeah.
I think we all did pretty good.
Oh, we all did impressions of you at different times throughout the show. It was fun.
Yeah. I heard.
What did you think of our impressions?
Were you impressed?
No.
As you sound like one of us doing an impression of you, you say that you weren't impressed. He goes, no. That sounds exactly the way that you did an impression of him.
No.
Well, man, we're glad that you're on the show this week.
Yeah, I'm here.
So, but anyway, guys, we're going to get right into the show. Actually, real quick, has anybody done anything like the past week or so that they just want to throw out there? Anything they've seen that was really cool, or anything they played new, or anything like that they just want to give a quick shout out to and talk about? You saw Stuber, right, Zach?
Yeah, I saw Stuber. It was pretty good. I think Batista's definitely getting a lot better acting-wise than he has been in the past. So that was pretty funny, and I recommend it.
Awesome. Cool.
I have been playing the new update to PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, where they have revamped their original map, and it is quite amazing. And I'm really excited to see when it goes live what changes they're going to add to it. Then also,
I saw that season 4 trailer thing that they dropped yesterday. And,
yeah, they finally gave it a storyline.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. I have to ask Ryan more about that.
Yeah, it's right now the big update isn't due out until I think it's like the 23rd or the 24th or something like that.
24th, I just saw it this morning.
Okay, but they have it out on the test servers. If you have the game on PC, you can play it for free on the test servers. But it's a really, really nice map. They had introduced the map once on the test servers, and I feel like it was a little more graphics intense than what it is right now, because it had a lot more foliage, and the foliage went for longer distances. But they reduced it back down a little bit. They said it was a little too much, and people were able to just go prone in the grass, and you couldn't see them for forever, even with a sniper scope. So they dialed it back just a little bit, but it's still a massive overhaul in comparison to how it was before.
Sweet.
But I'm happy with it so far, and pretty much as soon as we're done with the recording for this, I'm gonna go back there and play it some more.
Awesome. For me, I guess I should have mentioned it last week, but we didn't really say what have we done. But I just started season 3, part 2 of Young Justice Outsiders started back up on DC Universe, and it's so good. It's like it's my favorite animated series of all time, and it's like one of my favorite superhero projects of all time as well. And that's including films or anything else. And it's such a good show, and this season 3 has really turned out to be really great. Even better than the first 2 seasons, and the second part is it's been fantastic. And there's so many storylines going on, and they're all interwoven into one storyline together. It's like 5 different storylines, but they're all, it's really one storyline, but it's it's connected together. It's pretty cool the way they're doing it, and I've been excited about it, and definitely. It's a show that if you've seen Young Justice before and you haven't watched season 3, then you definitely should go watch that on the DC Universe, which is only $7.99 a month, by the way. DCUniverse.com. All right, guys, but let's get into the rest of the show here, and we're starting it off with the opener. And each week on the opener, we pick a topic or a news story that's happened, and something that's more that we can get opinionated on, and then we do a top 5 list based off of that. And this week we're talking how there's a partnership between Ubisoft, the game studio that's working on doing Watch Dogs Legion, and they have a partnership with HitRecord, which is Joseph Gordon-Levitt's company. It's like a how would you really describe that, Zach? Like a bunch of creators, basically. Anybody can join it, right? And
yeah, I think so. Sort of just like YouTube, but
yeah,
I understood it. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but the way I read about it, it seemed like kind of like YouTube, but for music. Sort of.
Yeah. So it's like
SoundCloud or something like that.
It's just not music. Also, it's also art and other stuff. It's just basically even videos too. It's basically a way, like it's like a community that you could join if you're an independent creator that does any form of entertainment wise, and want to create stuff, and you can like throw out your name there and your little resume stuff, and stuff that you can do, and they have jobs and stuff, and you can find and you can submit your work to it and get put on projects and stuff, and work together to create stuff. But anyway, HitRecord has this deal with Ubisoft, and they've worked on a game before, but they're doing music for Watch Dogs Legion. And so there's other game developers out there that have gotten mad and have criticized Ubisoft over this. Their reasons for that are because Ubisoft is not paying the people. So basically what it is it's a selection process, right? So the creators from HitRecord, they submit their work. If they want to submit some work to the game, they submit their work, and then if it gets picked into the game, and if they do a portion of it, because such as like it's an extensive process, because say Zach, you made like a video, like you made some music, right? Well, what if I took your music and then I remixed it and added my own little bit to it? So then we both created on it, right? And then Ryan came in and threw some vocals on there. And then so we've all three worked on this project, and then it gets submitted to the game. If the game picks it up, we would all get a portion of money, But say we did it and submitted it and it didn't get picked, we wouldn't get the money for it. And so I think that's what some of the other game developers are getting mad about Ubisoft, because they're not paying people for their submissions.
Yeah.
And so that's the main point that the game developers are using. But then Ubisoft has come back and has defended themselves and said, look, HitRecord is basically, they're just like normal people. They're not like people that do this for a living. They're like Joe Bob from down the street, correct?
Yeah, it's more like the LinkedIn version of SoundCloud.
Yeah. Yeah, and they know it going in that, look, you're not going to get paid for your submissions, but if you would like to submit it and it does get accepted, you will get paid. So
Yeah.
Ubisoft is like, we are giving people that are normally wouldn't have the chance to get their work seen because they're not professional people, because most of the time music from games I mean, it's like, professional people. You're getting Imagine Dragons and, whatever music is. I don't know why I went with Imagine Dragons. That's the type of music that's going in games, professional people. And we're giving these amateurs, I guess would be a good word to use here, and the chance that they wouldn't have without this opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's kind of dumb that's getting kind of backlash because it's not like if they submit it and it doesn't get used, it's not like they're using it anyway, or I don't know, like they're not stealing the work, they're just submitting it to try and get it. That's like when you do like a, I don't know, like a film festival and it gets bought at a film festival, like,
Or even submitting to a film festival itself. I mean, you're not guaranteed to get submitted, or to get accepted.
Yeah.
I actually read up quite a bit on this, and I have three full opinions that I've gathered off of the news story. So my first opinion is that the other game developers being upset about it, I feel like the game developers are trying to hurt Ubisoft. I don't see it as they're fighting for trying to help content creators. I feel like they're actually fighting to prevent Ubisoft from doing something that has a huge potential, and they don't like the fact that Ubisoft picked up on the idea first. My other opinion is that everybody who joins HitRecord, you have to go. It's part of the agreement process that this is how their stuff is handled. So you know what you're getting into before you get into it. And just like with any music project, even whenever we were producing Gotham Knights, we had multiple people come to us and give us music samples. We went with the people that we felt fit the storyline the best. And it's just like with any audition process. Like if you audition to be on a film project, you may not get that part, and you have to take the risk of putting the effort into that audition yourself of whether or not you might get that part. And my third opinion about it is that this is how business is being done nowadays with everything. You can look at websites like DeviantArt and stuff like that, where it's all user submitted stuff. These people go on there and they submit a whole bunch of stuff, and they don't know if their stuff's ever going to get used by anybody or they're going to make money off of it. They put their effort into the art, and then based off of whether or not their art was usable for the project at hand, it depends on whether or not they're going to make money off of it. And like I said, this is the way of the internet nowadays. Anybody who has a song that they appreciate, they can put their song on Spotify, and if 10 people play that song on Spotify, you'll make, obviously less than $1 in your entire lifetime of having that song on Spotify. But if your song picks up traction and lots of people listen to it and it goes viral, you're going to make a huge paycheck off of Spotify. And it's all about what the user agreement was. I don't see why these other game developers are upset at Ubisoft for doing this, because in the long run, everybody who's taking part in this, those other game developers aren't standing up for them. They're crossing the words of what was in the end user license agreement. So what's really the point?
Yeah. So here's a little bit more added onto that, though, is for one, why does everybody want to get in everybody else's business? Like, mind your own damn business. There's two parties. You're not involved in it. They made this partnership. They know what they're doing. So what are you? Especially when you're not even defending one. You're really not. You're kind of making it seem like you're defending them, but you're really not, because you really don't care. You're just trying to stir up trouble. And it's none of your business. They know what they're doing, so therefore they're totally okay. Like you said, content creators know what they're doing. Two, these content creators, so their music may, like you said, maybe be played on Spotify by 10 people, but if it gets picked up and put in Watch Dogs Legion, I'm pretty certain that 10 million people listening to your song is a whole lot better. So, I mean, why would they not want that? The chance to do that? And I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It's just like they want to just grap about something. I don't know, maybe because Watch Dogs Legion looks like a cool idea, and like has so much potential with it that they wanted to grap about something. I don't know, but I mean, this made me think of something though. Made me think of something with the Bandit here. So Zach, you did a Doritos make a commercial for the Super Bowl contest once, remember?
Yeah.
Didn't you? So, okay. So in that contest, wasn't and now it's not like you guys won the contest, but the contest winner had their commercial played during the Super Bowl, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So isn't this the same vein, but in like just different? But if you break it down, it's the same. You guys were content creators. Everybody submitted something to be put onto the Super Bowl, and somebody got accepted and got their stuff, and everybody else wasn't paid for the stuff that they did. But yet you guys put work into it, worked and did all this work into it. You had actors, you had people shooting the video, you took all the time to do that, you had people editing it, you'd had all this shit that happened to make this commercial for Doritos, and work was put into it, and you weren't paid for your work because you didn't get accepted by the Super Bowl Doritos contest. You didn't win. So therefore, is that not the same exact thing?
All right, thanks for rubbing it in.
But no, what I'm saying is at its core, is it not the same exact thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just like a competition, I guess. Like, I mean, it's the same exact idea.
So why did nobody grab about any of that? I mean, and I'm sure there's other examples. I just really just used that one because I remembered you doing that, and so it's fresh in my head.
That I didn't win.
Yeah, and plus, I just wanted to rub in your face that you didn't win. I guess, sure. But I don't know. I think we've said enough on it. I mean, you know.
I mean, it's one of those things that, of course, the people that are complaining are not the people submitting stuff to HitRecord. It's other game developers. And that's like I said earlier, I feel like the other game developers are either jealous that they didn't catch on to the idea first, and so they're trying to make a controversy out of it to hinder that game, or they are just trying to find something to make less people buy the game. Because if you make a controversy about something, you're trying to stir up something within a particular group of people to hinder their association with it. And the thing is at the end of the day, people knew what they were getting into, and so far I've seen like 2 people from HitRecord, or 2 people that have submitted stuff to HitRecord, have been upset. And it also seems like that those people that have complained that are users of HitRecord are upset that their content's not being used. And that's whenever you reach that point that you're just an angry artist who's upset because you think your work is good enough for something that it's not. but at the end of the day, it's the creative team of the main project that gets to decide whether or not your art fits into their idea.
Yeah. All right. So that's very well said, everybody. Let's move on to the top 5 from here. We're going to take that, and with that, on the opener we do a top 5 list. Today's top 5 list is going to be the top 5 Ubisoft games or franchises. And Zach, you still with us? Because it says mute, so I just want to make sure you're still there. There you go.
Here.
Okay, I was just making sure that you're still here. It's okay to mute whenever you're not talking. I was just making sure that something didn't happen. So anyway, this will be the top 5 Ubisoft games or franchises. And remember, this is everybody's opinion. And so we're going to start with Ryan. So Ryan, start with your number 5. Give us your entire list.
My whole list, or just my number 5?
We do that now. We're doing the you're just going to do your number 5 and 4, your 3, 2, 1.
Okay. My number 5 is the Splinter Cell franchise. I had always enjoyed the stealth action. The stealth action of that. It was a really good game, a really good game series, and I really wish that they would pick it up for more. I'll just move on to my next one. My number 4 is Tom Clancy's The Division. The Division has been a really, really good game series so far. Of course, they had the first one, and they had, I believe, more than enough updates and patches that did not require paid DLC to definitely make that game series worth buying the first one. It's a really, really good and well thought out storyline, and I was concerned whenever the Division 2 was coming out if they were going to be able to pick up on the storyline in the same way, to make it seem like it was a sequel instead of a reboot. And I was thoroughly impressed. My third is the Far Cry series. Far Cry has gone in many different directions throughout their series, and it's always just been a really cool and funny storyline. Definitely worth playing from the first Far Cry all the way to the last. Number 2 for me is, obviously this has got to be pretty high up there, the Assassin's Creed games. I didn't get into the Assassin's Creed games until the third one came out, and I played the third one, and I immediately went back and bought the first 2 and played them all the way through. My number 1 game series from Ubisoft is and always will be Rainbow Six 3. Rainbow Six. Specifically Rainbow Six 3. Rainbow Six 3 was one of the original launch titles for the original Xbox. And little lesser known fact about me is that on Xbox Live, my username maintained the number 1 spot on the leaderboards for Rainbow Six 3 for over 2 years. I put a lot of time and a lot of gaming hours into Rainbow Six 3 specifically.
I think you've told us this story before.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Good list. Good list. You got a good lot of franchises there. I'm gonna do my list next. Now, my list, I have a assortment of franchises and games. Mainly just because I haven't played too many Ubisoft games. Um, so, and I tried not to pick games that I didn't finish all the way. So, number 5 for me is Beyond Good and Evil. Now, this is the only game on my list that I haven't played fully through yet. So I feel like if I played fully through Beyond Good and Evil, I probably would have ranked this higher because what I have played of it, it's an excellent game. But since I haven't completed Beyond Good and Evil, I didn't want to rank it any higher. But it's an amazing game. Then they're making Beyond Good and Evil 2, which I think come out next year, I believe. And I had it on the Xbox, so I'm probably going to buy this on PlayStation here soon, so that way I can play through the game and be ready for when the next game comes out next year. It's a great game. Number 4 for me is the Prince of Persia series. I haven't played all of them, but the ones I have, they've been really good. I even like the reboot one that they made that a lot of people didn't like. I've enjoyed them all, the ones that I've played, and I really enjoyed that mechanic of rewinding time and stuff like that, and wall running. I mean, I believe it was like the first game that had wall running on it. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain that was it. So it was fun game, fun storyline. Number 3 for me, this one should have a good enjoyment from Zach because he's going to be like, he's going to laugh about this. But number 3 for me is South Park Stick of Truth. And the reason why Zach is going to laugh is because I haven't watched a whole lot of South Park. So that's why I figured that Zach would have something to say to this.
I didn't.
I remember you playing the hell out of that game when we were roommates.
I played the game. I beat the game 100%. It's my second favorite RPG next to Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, which came out on Super Nintendo. But South Park Stick of the Truth was so good, and I'm sure if I had seen pretty much all of South Park episodes, then I would probably enjoy it a little bit more because there's so much stuff in there that I didn't get references. But I mean, I thought stuff was funny stuff, but I didn't get all the references because I haven't seen the show. But just letting you know, Zach, I played the shit out of that game. Like Ryan said, he was my roommate at the time that game came out.
Nice.
But I completely 100%ed that game, so it was a good game. And I haven't played the second one. What was it? The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 for me is the Splinter Cell series. I believe that the Splinter Cell series is one of the best Tom Clancy series. It's the one I've played the most games out of, and which is weird that it is like my favorite out of that it's on my list of number 2. I didn't even realize I had liked it so much until I started making a list because another game series that's like these, like kind of like that, is like Hitman, and I'm horrible at it. So, because I played what was it, Hitman Season 1 or whatever? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm not good at that at all. But Splinter Cell, I was really good at those games, and I love those games. Spies versus Mercenaries, or the multiplayer version of it, and different ones was good. I played. My favorite one specifically was Splinter Cell Conviction. I put that in little parentheses, which I don't think a lot of people liked because it was kind of different. And it was the first one that had that mark target mode where you like mark the targets and then press the button or whatever, and then it kills the targets you marked instantly. Yeah. That was the first Splinter Cell game to introduce that, and but it was a little bit different. But I really enjoyed that game. But yeah, like Ryan said, I really think that they should make another Splinter Cell game. So, but number 1 for me is Assassin's Creed 2. I know that you had Assassin's Creed on your list, but I'm talking specifically about Assassin's Creed 2 because Assassin's Creed used to be one of my favorite franchises, but I've played too many bad Assassin's Creed games to make it for me to put it as franchises on my list. So specifically, Assassin's Creed 2 is one of my top 5 games of all time, and so I had to put it as number 1 on this list. Of course, it was the first game that I ever did every single thing, completed it 100%, and I had it on Xbox, so it wasn't that I got the platinum, whatever, did all the achievements or whatever. Is that what Xbox is? Achievements? I can't remember anymore since I'm a PlayStation guy now. Couldn't even remember there for a second. But it was such a good game. The story of Ezio Auditore is a fantastic storyline. Then you see it followed up more in Brotherhood and then Revelations. And but Assassin's Creed 2, the first of the Ezio trilogy, was such an amazing game, and I love it so much. And that's my list. So Zach, you got yours?
Yeah. So 5 is Monopoly Plus. No, I'm just kidding. 5 is Far Cry. I think I've only played Far Cry 5 and Primal, but from those games alone, I've pretty much enjoyed it, and I like the co-op aspect of it when we were playing.
We should go back and finish that game now that I think about it. But anyways,
we have to go back and do that. But yeah, I like that. It's kind of sucked that we couldn't like start co-op from start to finish like in Borderlands, but you have to actually join someone's game. But other than that, yeah, I should really go back and go to the older Far Cries and play those because I'm sure I'll enjoy those. And then number 4 is Watch Dogs. I have yet to play number 2. Legion looks pretty interesting, but when I played 1, I just loved it, and it just seemed so. I don't know. It's just so fun being able to like control shit with your phone and like make the green lights turn red and stop cars, and I don't know. But
was the ending really good, Zach?
Oh yeah, the ending that Ryan did for you.
Yeah, I don't know what the ending was like, but I was just asking.
You never even went back to watch and see what the ending was?
No, fuck that. It's all Ryan's fault. I just want Ryan to always remember that when we're 80 years old, I'll be like, remember when you finished my Watch Dogs game? Asshole.
And then number 3 is South Park. Yeah, Stick of Truth. I beat that. I almost have the platinum on it. I need to beat it again to get the platinum, but I beat it 3 times because I kept missing shit. And so I just have to go back like probably once more and get the platinum on the Stick of Truth. And then the Fractured Butthole. It was really good. I kind of like the combat system a little better because they changed it up. But the only reason I hadn't beat that is because I needed money, so I sold the game and I haven't rebought it. So I'm sure I'll buy it again eventually. But the number 2 is Splinter Cell. It's really like one of the game franchises that I really grew up to in like my teenage and junior high school years. Was one of my favorite franchises, really, and I just hope Ubisoft will bring it back, like either with a reboot or I don't know if they would do a sequel, but either one would be fine with me because I just love the stealth. Both Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed is always fun to try to be as stealthy as possible and kill people. So
yeah, and that's something too that I don't understand why they don't bring back Splinter Cell, because of the massive popularity of Assassin's Creed and the stealth style of gameplay in that. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of that stuff is directly taken from Splinter Cell.
It was rumored for something to be announced at E3 this year, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. And I mean, it is even possible to intertwine the stories of Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell, that he could be one of the assassins.
That would be fucking awesome.
I mean, because he crawls, and the way he gets up against walls and walks and stuff like that is the exact same way that Ezio gets up against the walls. It's literally the exact same pose.
But
all right, Zach, finish off your list.
the only thing that sucks about Splinter Cell is the last one. They changed the voice actor.
Oh yeah, I remember. That's why I stopped. I didn't play. What was it, Blacklist? I didn't play that one because the voice actor was different.
I didn't even know they were changing the voice actor. I started playing it. I'm like, who the fuck is this?
I think you told me. And I was like, oh, you didn't know that?
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. But oh my god, yeah. So if they do reboot it or whatever, they definitely need to try and get the
Michael
OG.
Ironside?
Yeah, I didn't know his name, but that guy.
Yeah,
Was Ryan trying to say something?
probably. It's okay.
I was just gonna say it was almost comical because they didn't even get a voice actor that sounded like him.
Yeah, I know. I was playing it. I was like, what the hell? Like so many people can sound like other people. Like there's so many people on YouTube that can make voices that sound exactly like that voice. So I don't see how they couldn't get someone that sounded like Sam Fisher. But anyway.
Fun fact real quick, Michael Ironside was the voice of Darkseid in the Justice League animated series.
Oh, really?
Go ahead.
I care a lot about that. And then my number one, of course, is Monopoly Plus. My number one is Assassin's Creed, but specifically would be the Ezio, the whole Ezio legacy, which honestly, if you play all those together and just the whole story is pretty much like a complete masterpiece, really. It's probably one of the best overall stories in gaming, to be honest. So that's my number one.
It's definitely the best character story.
Yes.
I also I wanted to let you guys know that it has been officially announced that they are making a Splinter Cell movie. It was actually announced before it was announced before it was announced back in 2015, and it got pushed back because of Tom Hardy's scheduling. But Tom Hardy will be playing Sam Fisher, and Tom Clancy will be included in the writing crew.
You do know Tom Clancy's dead.
It will be part of his stories that he had written for the Splinter Cell books that never got released.
Okay.
They're going to be taken from that.
He's gonna be a writer. Well, he's you better go dig him up. Yeah.
That's a whole nother term to ghost writer.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this, but there was like a semi trailer for the movie in Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, and it showed like clips and scenes of live action stuff, but they never actually showed an actor's face or anything like that. But they have it it has now been officially announced that it's in pre-production right now.
Oh.
It will be Tom Hardy.
Will he talk like Bane?
I certainly hope.
Sam Fisher.
I don't think that Tom Hardy looks 100% like Sam Fisher in the games, but I've not had a Tom Hardy movie that's come out that I didn't enjoy, so I can appreciate the fact that they went with him.
Cool. All right, guys, so let's talk about some movie releases. And the big release here for this, let's go with the small one first. Small release for tomorrow, July 19th. If you got a Nintendo Switch, then you can get Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, coming out for the Nintendo Switch. Now, none of us have a Nintendo Switch, but I'm kind of upset that I don't have a Nintendo Switch for this game. I'm actually more upset this game's not coming out on other consoles, I think.
No, it's not. Ultimate Alliance has always been a Nintendo exclusive.
No, Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 came out on all the platforms.
PlayStation.
Nope,
Yeah.
came out on Xbox too.
It did?
Yep, because I had them.
Oh, on Xbox and PS2.
Yeah, it was on Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This will be the first time it's on Nintendo.
Yeah, and it's exclusive. So weird.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're all good.
Should be. Anyway.
It looks like a pretty. We've talked about it before on the show, so we're not going to dive too much into it. But it looks like a pretty good game, and so if you have a Switch, you probably should pick that up just for fun, because we've mentioned some of the characters that they announced at, what was it, A3, that they had announced some characters and stuff. They got Cosmic Ghost Rider, I think, and Miles Morales is on there and stuff. So,
yeah.
So.
All right. Well, Nintendo got Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but we got Avengers.
But is Marvel's Avengers coming out on Nintendo or just Xbox and PlayStation?
I think just Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But the big release, though, really that we should really talk more about is tomorrow, July 19th, is The Lion King is coming out. The Lion King.
I'm seeing that tonight, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah. I have not seen a negative review for it.
No, the only thing I saw when IGN gave a early review a couple weeks ago, Zach, I think it was, that we talked about it, because IGN said that it's exactly shot by shot remake of the animated film, and I was like, that's exactly what I want. And I was like, why are they saying that's like a negative thing? They gave it they said it was the best. They said it was the best live action Disney adaptation yet, but then they only gave it an 8, so I was kind of confused because I thought there was something else that had gotten a higher grade before. But
yeah, well, I hate IGN's reviews anyway.
Yeah,
none of them know what they're doing, and so
they're not very consistent.
I've stopped listening to them, really.
I just like to see what the scores. I don't even really look at the reviews. I just look at the scores and then talk about it.
I just scroll all the way down and say, "What's IGN giving this time?" If it was a lot Call of Duty, Lion King Jungle 5, I'm sure it would have got a 10.
So The Lion King. So you're gonna go see it tonight, you said, Zach. Ryan, are you gonna see it sometime, or?
I'm probably gonna see it sometime this weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna probably see it as well. I don't know if it'll be this weekend, but I really want to see it too. So I know Lacey wants to see it. So, and the kids are gone. So
gonna let you do something.
Yeah, she'll be there. So, anyways, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So, They did take out the Scar song, Be Prepared, though.
That's disappointing.
That is a little disappointing.
Now I'm not seeing it tonight.
No, I'm not seeing it. No, I'm not seeing it. And then they added a song for Nala because, it's Beyonce.
Yeah, they gotta use as much as Beyonce as they can.
Did you see who posted that video? Was it you that posted that video, or what? Is it someone else? I saw someone post a video of Beyonce. It was basically this guy making fun of Beyonce being in The Lion King, but it was like someone have to tell Beyonce that she's not doing all the music or some junk like this, and it's just like her singing like every song.
It was like a remix of her doing the opening song too, singing over it.
Yeah, she just did every single song. It was just like every single. It was a dude or girl or something. I don't know. But he was just pretending for Beyonce to sing every single song. It was pretty funny.
In all honesty, I was kind of surprised that they didn't give Elton John, more credit in this than what he got. I mean, he wrote all the songs for The Lion King, and except for the opening song. And I mean, it felt weird knowing that other people are going to be doing the songs and not Elton.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited for the movie. I mean, this was in both mine and Zach's top 5 lists whenever, like on episode 3, I think, of the show. When we did top things we're looking forward to in 2019. And this was on both of our lists for movies that we're anticipating watching this year. So I've been waiting for this. I mean, it's like my second favorite Disney movie. So, and a lot of people's number one's Disney movie. So, I mean, it's going to be a hit. I'm sure the theaters will be packed. So, I mean, I don't see where they could really go wrong. Plus, it's directed by Jon Favreau, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and The Jungle Book was amazing. So I'm excited. I mean, I've liked most of the live action in parentheses Disney movies so far. So some of them are not as good, but some of them are really great. So I'm excited. And if they would just make a Hercules one, we'd all be better. We would all be fine.
We just need a live action Darkwing Duck.
That would be freaking sweet. That would be sweet. But yeah, everybody go get your tickets to The Lion King now and go see it. It's definitely the movie to go see this weekend for sure. But we're going to move into trailers here. And we got 3 trailers here to talk about today. And the first one is Madness in the Method. Did everybody get a chance to watch this movie or this trailer?
That's the only trailer I watched from the list.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you talk about it?
I mean, it seemed pretty interesting to me. I mean, I love Kevin Smith movies, and I think they play themselves, right?
Yeah, it's I think this one's actually made by Jason Mewes, not made by Kevin Smith. He's just Kevin Smith that's in the movie. But I think Jason's the one that actually made the movie, and it's like a fake documentary.
It's like a mockumentary.
Mockumentary, that's it. Yeah.
It didn't seem like a mockumentary to me.
But
like
it's really like a mockumentary, but it's like because that would be like American Vandal. But it's like
a biopic, but fictional.
Yeah, like a fake pic.
like a I don't know another word for it. I don't know, whatever. It's just fictional, but they play themselves.
Yes.
They've got it's got a pretty big cast to it too.
It has the Last Stan Lee cameo.
They've got Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain together again. It's funny seeing him do this whole thing where he's been typecasted for so long as the stoner buddy, and it I think that the film has a lot of potential, and I'm definitely gonna go see it at least in theaters. But it it looked like it was gonna be really funny.
Yeah. Zach, I mean, you're a big Kevin Smith fan, aren't you? Film fan?
I mean, his films. I heard he's an asshole in real life, but other than that, yeah, I mean, like especially Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is probably one of my favorite films of his, and I can't wait for Jay and Silent Bob reboot, where he pretty much makes fun of reboots and sequels and remakes and stuff while the film is actually a reboot and remake, which is kind of fun.
And but as far as Madness and the Method goes, it's pretty cool. Like, because you said it's almost like real. It is really like real life because he is typecast. Jason Mewes is the stoner buddy, whatever, and I guess he finds like a book that makes him become a good method actor, and so it's really funny, the trailer, and I can't wait to. I want to see more. So there's so many celebrities in that freaking trailer.
Yeah,
it was exciting to see Stan Lee again, though. Just so happened that I was watching the trailer, and Riker was in the room when I was watching the trailer on the computer this morning, and he heard Stan Lee talk, and his head shot up, and he goes, "Was Stan Lee just talking?" I was like, "Yeah." It's good.
Well, I guess you're raising at least one of your kids, right?
At least one. That he could just hear Stan Lee's voice and knew it was Stan Lee.
Stan Lee has one of those super recognizable voices. Like, you can't confuse him with anybody else.
Right. But anyway, let's move on. Zach, you only watched the one trailer?
Yeah.
Okay, so the trailer for The Kitchen. Did you watch that one, Ryan?
I'm double checking. I may have.
Okay, well, The Kitchen is a DC Vertigo film, based off a DC Vertigo comic book, and it's about a group of women. I guess like it's three of them. Melissa McCarthy plays one of them, and I guess like their husbands are in jail or some shit like this, and they're like assassins or fighters or some junk like this. I don't know exactly what.
Oh, is that the one where they're like
This is the synopsis, real quick. The wives of New York gangsters in Hell's Kitchen in the 1970s continue to operate their husbands' rackets after they're locked up in prison.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
So
I did see that trailer in theaters. So,
yeah.
I definitely saw this trailer. It looked like it was going to be pretty interesting. This was one of the few Melissa McCarthy movies that I was like super like interested in seeing, because you always see these kind of roles being played out by guys, and it's, you know, especially you get the comedic crews of the guys together to play these kinds of roles, and then they're finally able to swap it. And I'm interested to see some of these comedic actresses playing these roles where they have to do what the guys have done for so long, you know?
Yeah. And that was something we just talked about recently, was Melissa McCarthy. You know, she's rumored to play Ursula in the Little Mermaid movie.
Yeah.
And I had said that I need to see her in something serious. And then I saw that trailer today, and I was like, and then she was being serious, and I was like, hey, maybe she could do Ursula. I was like, she can play a serious role.
Yeah.
So I want to see this movie just because of that reason. So
it'll also be nice to see Tiffany Haddish in a serious role, because all she's done before this has been nothing but comedy.
Yeah, there was no comedy with maybe a little bit, but it was all serious, this trailer. So
Yeah.
So you did see it, Zach. So look at that. You saw it in theaters.
Yeah, I saw it like a few months ago.
Yeah, they just came out with a new trailer for it.
I was like, why is this being brought up now? I just saw it like a few months ago.
Yeah, they just came out with a new trailer. I didn't see it the first time, so this is the second trailer. So, for it. And we didn't talk about it when the first trailer came out, so. Moving on, if that's cool. And the next trailer the last trailer we're going to talk about is Playing with Fire. It's the new John Cena movie. It was really hard to see because half the trailer, I couldn't see the trailer, what was going on. So it was really weird, just people talking to nothingness. So it was good. No, in all seriousness, though, I'm sure that joke's been done by like 10 million other people doing podcasts. The Playing with Fire movie is a comedy because that's what John Cena does best, I guess. And I thought it was actually pretty good in a sense. What was the other Key and Peele guy? Not Jordan Peele, but the other guy. What is his name?
Keegan.
Keegan, yeah.
Yeah, he's in the movie too.
Yeah. Brianna Hildebrand, that's the girl that played Negasonic teenage warhead in the Deadpool movies. John Leguizamo, it'll be his first good and well promoted movie in a long time. He's done other stuff, but nothing quite like this. He actually went to like made for TV movies for a while after the movie The Pest. He just really couldn't get cast after that. The guy from the Allstate commercials, the voice, Dennis Haysbert, he's in it. And Judy Greer. It'll be nice seeing her in a movie again. She hasn't done all that much since Arrested Development, but I think she's actually a really good comedic actress.
Yeah. It looks like a pretty good, funny film, I guess, to watch with the family. It's like one of those, kid-friendly comedies, like Adventures in Babysitting or God, that's old school as fuck reference there. One of those, like a Cheaper by the Dozen or something, some family comedy movie. That's kind of what it looks like. Nothing too mature. But it looks like it'll be all right. Take your kids on a Super Tuesday or something, or watch it on DVD with your family or something. Yeah. So, Zach, you didn't see it, so you can't talk about it.
Oh. It's also a Nickelodeon film, so like it was.
Was it a Nickelodeon film? I didn't even notice that.
It's definitely a film that's like made for the whole family, but of course with any Nickelodeon film you're going to have some adult jokes in it too to keep the parents entertained while at the same time not crossing any lines. Speaking of Nickelodeon films, I wish they would make a Clock Stoppers Part 2.
Okay. Anyways, let's move into some news here, guys. And so, we had some friends that are doing stuff out there. We're doing stuff, BBP is, and we want to just, we got people that listen to the show and they're doing stuff, so we just want to throw out some shout outs to them. Our friends over at Wild Horses Productions, Tanner Smith's company, which he was on one of our earlier episodes. When it was just me, their new film, The Cold, is now on Amazon Prime. We shared the link on our Facebook, but you can find Wild Horses Productions on Facebook as well, and that's where you could probably see a pinned link to the film. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can just watch it via Prime Video. You can just watch it for free by searching The Cold. And so congrats on that, Tanner. Our other friend, Mr. Freddie Lane, and so he's a cool guy. He's a rapper / singer, and he just announced 4 months of Freddie. It's he's putting out 4 mixtapes starting on August 1st. He'll be putting out one, and then every month, September, October, November, he'll be putting out another one each month. And so congrats on that, Freddie, if you're listening to the show. And we're big supporters of Freddie Lane. He's been on the show before. And so we got some things we're cooking up with him with BBP stuff in the future. And so him providing some music stuff, got him a role that we're going to possibly put him in that I haven't really spoke to him about, but we're putting him in anyways. Yeah, good things on the horizon. But speaking of music, though, let's talk about this. Because Jeremiah mentioned this, and then I had to research it. But you guys know Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner. He does music apparently.
Yeah.
And I was not aware of this. But apparently he's doing music now, and he a couple weeks ago he dropped a single, and then this past on the 10th of July he dropped a single, Main Attraction, which you can YouTube now, or you can search our BBP page on Facebook where we posted a link. It's a damn good song.
Yeah,
I didn't know this dude could sing.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
It kind of reminded me of Imagine Dragons a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So I finally saw the car commercial that Jeremiah was talking about, and this is the thought that went through my head. Jeremy Renner is now the Chris Jericho of the Avengers because he looked so much like Chris Jericho whenever he's on stage for Fozzy.
I'm gonna have to look at this.
And it just made me immediately think Jeremy Renner is now the Chris Jericho of the Avengers.
We should write Jeremy Renner, Chris Jericho of the Avengers. Do you remember whenever Fozzy first became a big deal and Chris Jericho acted like, and Chris Jericho used a different name on stage with Fozzy than he did as instead of using his Chris Jericho as his name?
Yeah.
And he acted like everybody acted like it was a different person.
Yeah.
that was cool. And they were making things in commentary about how they looked alike.
Yeah. He looks a lot like the lead singer from Fozzy.
and they would interview him, and then someone would bring it up, and he would talk about how he doesn't look like him and he doesn't see the resemblance or whatever. And I was like, yeah. and then whenever he came off and he took some time off, and then years later, and they were having Fozzy, and it was Chris Jericho's the lead singer, and I was like, whatever happened to that storyline where he was not the same person? Did that just drop off?
The band wasn't doing as well as he had hoped, so he finally needed to promote it on WWE.
I've listened. Some of his music has come up on the radio on Spotify, and it's not too bad actually.
Ooh, Chris Jericho or Fozzy's?
Yeah.
That Judas song is badass. Hello?
I'm here. I was actually always very, very surprised that they never used any of Fozzy's music as intro songs for Chris Jericho.
Yeah, they used that Judas song for a pay-per-view last year, I think, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised too. Maybe he just didn't want it to be his entrance music. You mean he didn't do the John Cena thing and have his own music for his entrance?
Dun, 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 dun. I feel like he always wanted the band to make it on their own accord, kind of thing.
Yeah,
he didn't want to just use his celebrity from WWE to insist upon itself that his music was good,
Right. But anyway, circling back to Jeremy Renner and his song Main Attraction. I listened to that song 3 times before the show. I was like, why is this song so good? I was like, for one, do you remember whenever the it was like right before, I can't remember, was it Civil War that came out or right after it? He was on like Jimmy Fallon or some shit, and he played a song on the piano, and it was about the Hawkeye, and it was about him not having superpowers.
Yeah.
But it was him just like coming up with some like, it was just like weird that he said that he had powers too, and it was just like weird random shit. That was such a good song. But yeah, but anyway, so he's doing music, and apparently he has an album coming out soon, which will probably come out like 2020 if I had to guess, because that's how music does. But yeah, so moving on. So there's a lot of comics that have been announced, and we don't always talk about comics because I'm the only one that reads comics currently. So, but there literally was like 8 new comic series announced this week, and it was more of that announced than other news that we put out. So I'm just gonna run through these, and if anybody, there was like 1 or 2 that I thought maybe someone at least could talk about. And so if anybody wants to add anything to it, then that's cool. If not, I'm just gonna give brief synopsis on it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so starting off, DC's Black Label is putting out Joker Killer Smile. It's 3 issues coming out this fall. It's from writer Jeff Lemire, who writes the Black Hammer comic books and stuff. It is about Joker. It's about his relationship with a new doctor at Arkham Asylum, and the methods that he decides to use whenever he comes to Arkham. And so that's all really that we got as far as synopsis wise. We don't have a release date for the comic. I'm really excited because Jeff Lemire is a really good comic book writer. So if you were currently reading comics, you guys would know how exciting news this is. But yeah, the second comic is also by Jeff Lemire, so it's pretty exciting. It's also a DC Black Label book, and that Black Label for DC, just in case y'all you guys don't know, it's like their mature books. They're like more adult-centered books that they're putting out. And did y'all ever hear about that controversy of the Batman Damned book, where you saw the shadow of Batman's dick in the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Black Label book. But anyways, the next book is, as I said, is The Question, the deaths, plural, of Vic Sage. It's 4 issues. It opens up with the faceless vigilante of The Question meeting his end, which sparks a larger mystery that spans from the Wild West to the 1930s. I'm really excited because I really like The Question. He's a very obscure DC character. I've always really liked The Question in the Justice League animated show. Was one of my favorite characters. And originally, whenever we were doing Gotham Knights, we were going to have The Question. Zach, you remember that? But we were going to have the second Question, which was Renee Montoya. We weren't going to have Vic Sage.
We were gonna have a shitload of people. You had like written every freaking bad guy into your thing.
Hey man, that
Go
one
big,
thing that.
right.
What did you say?
I said go big or go home.
Yeah. But anyway, it was played by somebody that I'm not going to talk about because they've talked a lot of shit about me. And Ryan, it's a good friend of Ryan's.
Not
Sarcasm.
a good friend of mine.
Sarcasm. But anyways, the Vic Sage Question may have to bring that up in something else that BBP related one day in the future. Got my head rolling on that this morning. I'll talk to you more about it later. But number 3 is another DC book. Most of these are DC books for some reason. Number 3, which is one I thought was excited. This one you were actually going to share with me, Zach, and I thought that you thought this was pretty cool. The Joker Year of the Villain. It's a one-shot comic. That means it's just one issue. It's not an ongoing series or or miniseries or anything. It's coming out October the 9th. And it's about the year of the villains going on in comics right now, and it's Lex Luthor is giving all these villains like power-ups and stuff because he's like basically a god entity now. Yeah, storyline wise, you'd have to know, but the Joker doesn't want it. He just wants to be the same. So this is really just about Joker. But the most notable thing about this book is that it's co-written by John Carpenter. So yeah, I thought that was something that you other two could appreciate. So
It's pretty cool. I thought John Carpenter was dead for some reason.
this is literally the first news I've heard about John Carpenter in like at least 10 years. So I mean,
it's being done the same way the Splinter Cell movie's being done.
I'm like you said, you thought he was dead, and I mean, it's not like I really cared one way or another, but I mean, I would assumed he was dead too because I haven't heard his name brought up in so long. So, all right,
living off that Tom Cruise money.
Number 4. This comic is from Dark Horse. It is The Mask. I Pledge Allegiance to the Mask, from Christopher Cantwell. Coming out, the first issue it's just an ongoing series. It's coming out October 16th. Now, some of you may only know The Mask from the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey, or that abomination of a sequel, reboot sequel. What was it, Son of the Mask?
Yeah, James Kennedy.
Yes, but The Mask actually started out as a comic book, and they've had multiple series. It's been like, I think it's been like 10, 15 years or something since they've had a Mask comic book series. But every time that we don't know who the person, when they call a person who wears the mask Big Head, we don't know who Big Head is. They haven't given out any details. But apparently from the cover that they've seen, this is going to play off a lot of current politics because it says "Make America Green Again." So, and it says, "I pledge allegiance to the mask" is the name of the book. So we're probably going to see some Donald Trump character in the book. So I figured that you two would probably like to know that as well.
I'm down for anything that makes fun of politics.
Yeah, so I thought y'all would enjoy that.
I've always been a big fan of The Mask. Like, I love the movie with Jim Carrey and the cartoon I used to watch.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did a cartoon as well.
Yeah.
Did you ever read any of the comics? Because I know that you used to read comics.
Yeah, I never really read any comics, and I still do read comics. I have Marvel Unlimited, but it's like the newer ones don't even come out for like 6 months. So
Right, you're 6 months behind in continuity, so.
yeah.
You
know. Number 5 is from Boom Studios. This is called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers / Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is the Power Rangers meeting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a 5-issue run. The first issue comes out December 4th. This is set when Tommy is the Green Power Ranger, and for some reason, he betrays the team, and he forms an alliance with Shredder, which makes the other Rangers form an alliance with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's all that we got so far. I'm already intrigued by that because, like, for one, he started off as evil, so we don't know why he's going to go be evil again. I don't know if this is some ploy. I don't know what's going on, but
didn't the Ninja Turtles guest star in the live action show?
Oh shit, I don't know. Did they?
I believe they did. I'm gonna look it up real quick, but
you should look that up so that way I know that. I didn't know if they did or not. I do know that they had a live action show at the time. At some time when there was a Power Ranger show on, because I know they had a live action show and Power Rangers has been on since we were kids. So I mean,
yeah, there was. It was
probably not
was
the original
not
Power Rangers.
No, it wasn't Mighty Morphin. It was
probably like Lost in Space or the Space one or Lost Galaxy or.
Oh, it's I'm looking at it now. It's the Lost in Space.
The Lost Galaxy or the Power Rangers in space?
Oh yeah, Power Rangers in space. Yeah, I'm watching the clip right now.
Okay, that's interesting.
Power Rangers in space. The episode was titled Shell Shocked.
I did not know this. Now I'm going to have to go watch this on Netflix. The Power Rangers shows are still on Netflix, right?
I'm not sure. I thought it was just the first run of it. Maybe they are.
They were originally.
I can check that right now.
Cool. Moving on though. I'm just gonna keep going since y'all don't have much input anyways on these comic book stuff. The next one is The Batman's Grave. It's a 12-issue run written by Warren Ellis. Big name for comic books, just letting you two know. It comes out, the first issue comes out October the 9th. Batman obsesses over Gotham murder victims to really the point that he's putting himself inside their heads and he's risking his own sanity. The series follows his efforts to solve the murder of a victim with a half-eaten face. And so Alfred is concerned because he thinks that this is going to basically drive Master Bruce to be in the same grave that his parents are in. And so it has been teased that this will end with Batman's death. We don't know if it's in the current DC continuity or not. They haven't said that. So we'll find out probably more before October the 9th. But the half-eaten face thing makes me like really intrigued about it because I was like, is this cannibalistic thing going on or is this animal? Like, is it? I don't know what's going on with that. So,
yeah.
And
sorry, go ahead, Zach.
Oh, I was gonna say, so really quick, Power Rangers in Space is on Netflix, and Shell Shocked is the 4th episode.
Man, it was that fast?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Cool. So I know what I'm watching when I get off here. I'll move on to the next one. The next one, it's Birds of Prey. It's an ongoing series starting in October from writer Brian Azzarello. I don't know how to say that. It's basically the Birds of Prey, which includes Black Canary, Huntress, and for some reason Harley Quinn, which is getting a lot of people hating on it on Twitter for some reason. If you don't like something, you don't have to hate it on Twitter. Just don't fucking read it. I mean, it's quite simple. You get to choose what to put your money towards. So keep your $4 to yourself. If you don't want it, shut up on Twitter. Also, Renee Montoya is supposed to be involved in a small form to this. I don't really care too much about it. I just wanted to mention it. But the one that I'm most excited about is what we're going to talk about last here. It's called Tales from the Dark Multiverse. This is spewing out of last year's thing, which I really think you should read this, Zach. Stuff. Anything that has DC metal in it, you should read that. If you don't have you have Marvel's Unlimited, but you can read my DC app because I feel like you would like this just because it's like a horror thing. So this is spanning out of that. It's mini-series. It's each one is going to be 48 pages. These first two ones I'm going to mention, they come out October 16th. And basically what they are, it's alternate takes on stuff that has happened in the DC universe. The first book is called Batman Nightfall #1. It is so if everybody remembers comic continuity a little bit, you remember when Bane broke Batman's back in comic books? I mean, that was a huge deal. So this is set then, and after that happened, he this guy named John Paul Valley took over for Batman, and then that guy who later became Azrael after Bruce came back and they had fought, and then anyway, he's Azrael now. But this is set 30 years after Nightfall, whenever after Batman's back been broken. John Paul Valley never gave up the mantle of Batman. I guess Bruce never came back as Batman. I don't know if he's dead or whatever. But so John Powell Valley is now Saint Batman, and is an evil, corrupt political figure. Everybody's scared of him. He basically runs Gotham, and he's like a tyrant, you know. And the only hope is a figure called the Son of Bane. And this is written by Scott Snyder, pretty big name in comic books. And so it's very interesting. I'm excited to hear more about it. I probably will be getting these. The next one is, hold on just a minute. It's called The Death of Superman #1. You guys remember when Superman died in comic books? Probably the biggest comic book event of all time. Whenever that happened, the comic books went black. It was a huge deal. So many comic books were sold whenever the death of Superman happened. In this Tales from the Dark Multiverse version, Superman never comes back. And instead, Lois becomes the Eradicator. Because if you remember when Superman died, before he came back, 4 different versions of Superman came around, and they were all like people claiming to be Superman. Like there was Superboy, there was Steel, there was the Cyborg Superman, and then there was the Eradicator. The Eradicator was like anyway, in this thing, Lois becomes the Eradicator, and she doesn't carry on Superman's legacy. Instead, she wants to stop the battles of good versus evil forever. So I guess in a tyrant type move. And so this is written by Jeff Loveness. I don't know anything else that he's done. But they're also teasing Dark Tales from the Dark Multiverse versions of Infinite Crisis, Blackest Night, and Teen Titans Judas Contract. I'm really excited about that one because Judas Contract is the best Teen Titans story of all time. So I'm really excited about that. But that is all the comic books that have been announced this week. And so I figured without having Jeremiah, we needed some time to fill. So figure we mentioned them. But let's move into the rest of the show if that's okay with the rest of you two. Thank you. All right, guys. So there is an adult reboot of the Flintstones coming. Zach, have you heard anything about this?
Yeah, I saw that. We posted that on our page. I always kind of thought Flintstones was sort of already adultish. I don't know. Like, I don't think like really kids even watch the Flintstones, do they? Like, I don't know.
From what I'm reading of it is that for one, it's made in collaboration of Warner Brothers and Elizabeth Banks Brownstone Studios, and it's supposed to be like prime time adult animated series. So I'm guessing it's going to be like like the same time that like Family Guy and shit comes on. That's when we'll be watching the Flintstones.
It would be pretty cool, like if it is kind of like similar to like Family Guy and those shows where it has kind of more adult themes and stuff like that.
I'm guessing that's what they mean by adult reboot. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen any much other things about it. Ryan, have you seen anything else about it?
I've only read that it's happening. I haven't seen anything. I haven't been able to find anything other than just saying that that it is happening.
Okay, so what is everybody's would you watch it or excited about the news?
I'll give it a shot, but it doesn't seem that interesting to me.
Zach?
I like the OG Flintstones, so I mean, I'll probably look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably give it a shot, but I mean, I don't really. I mean, the Flintstones were cool and everything. I mean, at the time, but I mean, I don't really care one way or another. Really, it's not like I'm really super excited about it. But this adult reboot, like it makes me excited about it, but also worries me in a way. I don't want them to change it to like it's basically watching like Family Guy or Simpsons or South Park or something, but Flintstones characters, Yeah. I don't want them to make it unnecessarily adult, like too much. Like there should be some type of line. You know,
I mean, at the end of the day, Family Guy only came about because of shows like The Flintstones, and they make a lot of references to that fact in the show. They've even done small parody scenes and done other things with using the Flintstones characters to make sure that people know that like the beginnings of Family Guy come from characters like Fred Flintstone.
wasn't it
But
rumored one time that Seth Meyers was, or not Seth Meyers? That's not. What's his?
MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. Why am I said Seth Meyers? I watched something with Seth Meyers this morning. Seth MacFarlane was working on a reboot of the Flintstones.
I think they were talking about doing like another live action, and it was going to be Seth either playing Barney or Fred.
But he was gonna like write it and direct it or some shit like that.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny. I don't know. So far, everything, like, I don't really like Family Guy that much. But everything Seth MacFarlane has done, like Ted and A Million Ways to Die in the West and stuff, I think are hilarious. So,
You watched the Orville?
yeah.
Oh, the Orville. Great
Orville.
show.
God, season 2, like I thought season 1 was good, but then season 2 just like blew me away, and I was like, dear God, this show's amazing.
I do think that it's hilarious though that the Orville keeps getting picked up for new seasons, and all the Star Trek shows keep getting canceled.
Speaking of canceled, but not really canceled, Power Rangers, the reboot, is apparently getting rebooted again.
Yes.
According to the guy who played Jason, who plays Billy on Stranger Things, the sequel, which was, at the end they had post-credit scene where, but apparently the sequel was not going to have the same actors. They're going to entirely have a new cast. So but the way that he worded it, it says rebooted with new cast. He said that they were getting a new cast. It doesn't say that they're not making it's not going to be a sequel.
It's not going to be a sequel.
Well,
So
like you were saying with they shouldn't like make it a reboot or whatever. They should just do it from a different Power Ranger thing.
All right. So basically, what he's saying is that I had this idea, Ryan. I said,
Okay.
so they were making a sequel, right? You could make a sequel to the movie while rebooting the cast, because Power Rangers gets new cast all the time. And so everything is a sequel with different cast. So what my idea was is that you take it from it ended like where it ended, right? So the next one would pick up at the end of the Ninja Saga. Okay? So at this point you have Tommy, you got the only person that would be at that point is Billy, okay? Which is the only person that I think should stay from the cast anyway, that I really cared about the most. So you got Billy, you got and so Jason is now Rocky, Zach is now Adam, Kimberly is now Kat, and you can make and Trini is Aisha. So your cast is already rebooted anyways. And,
okay.
And to start the movie very at the end of the ninja thing, they have it and they fight automatically. It's like jump right into the action. Like they've been the Ninja Power Rangers. And they fight like a Master Vile, right? And he takes their powers and makes them kids. If you didn't have to do the kid thing, you could just make it where they had to go get the Zeo crystal, okay? Because the Zeo crystals was hinted at in the first movie anyways. So the Zeo crystal would be the object of the movie. But if you wanted to, you could make them kids and use the kids from Stranger Things. as their counterparts.
Okay, so yeah, that is something. Let me. I can explain why this reboot is happening. I know why. I knew why from the moment I saw it at the theater. This was not a Power Rangers movie. This was a wild adaptation into a teen dramedy. Power Rangers has always been known for flashy colors, quick pace storyline, and for a lot of action sequences, especially featuring the Zords and the Megazord. In the movie that they had that came out, it was very much a teen dramedy that focused way too much on the characters and not enough on the Power Rangers. There was zero flashy colors, and by the time that they brought the Zords in, it was almost as if it was, we're doing this because we have to, not because we feel like they're an important part of the storyline. And the Zord scenes almost felt forced. Another thing, if they bring up Dunkin' Donuts at all during the next movie, I will leave the theater. The biggest complaints online and by critics about that, especially true diehard Power Ranger fans, was that they definitely did not focus enough on the Power Rangers. Everybody knows who the Power Rangers are. You do not need that much of a background story to the individual characters. They needed more of a background to the Power Rangers. They needed more action-filled sequences to fulfill that movie's needs. A lot of people were also very upset the way that Goldar was introduced and almost completely obliterated right off the bat. Goldar is supposed to be one of the most powerful of Rita's creations, and he was wiped away in one fight scene. And you can't do that to Goldar. You just can't do that to Goldar.
Well, to be fair, he was made a bitch on the show.
Yes. Well, yeah. But the thing is Rita was always saving him for last, and he did fight the Power Rangers, but in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the fight with Goldar, well, not the first fight with Goldar, but some of the other fights with Goldar were some of the longest fight sequences against the Rangers and against the Zords. I really, really want them to make the next Power Rangers movie way more nostalgic instead of this super, super futuristic thing. The suits were cool. The suits needed to be brightened up more. The brightness of the Zords should have been the brightness of their suits. And the fact that the Power Rangers headquarters where Zed lived, it was dark and dismal, and everything about it screamed like this adult dark theme. And the core thing about Power Rangers, the series, the old 90s movies and stuff like that, was always that it had intricate storyline to go along with it, but it was always it was always about the action sequences. I mean, they had some pretty amazing. I mean, when the show was originally shot in Japan and then re-adapted, all the fight scenes are the original Japan fight scenes, except for a few scenes where the Rangers take their helmets off. And I think another thing that killed it for a lot of people was the fact that while they were in the Zords, they weren't wearing their helmets. There was never a scene in any of the Power Rangers shows that the Power Rangers were not wearing their helmets inside of their Zords. And I mean, the suit is an integral part of controlling the Zord, so you would need that user interface inside the helmet. But I'm sorry. I know I'm a big
you're all good. I mean, like, but at the same time, though, I didn't think it was a bad movie. I mean, I thought it was a good movie, but
it was not a bad movie. It just was not a Power Rangers story. That's how a lot of people felt about that movie. It was a good movie. It was a good standalone, but a lot of people, Power Ranger, the fan base, and especially whenever it comes to their biggest fan base, which is in Japan, nobody was satisfied.
I wasn't unsatisfied at all. I mean, I thought it was a perfectly fine Power Rangers. I thought it was a different take on it. But I mean, same thing. I'd already seen a Power Ranger movie. I didn't need to see another Power Ranger movie that was exactly the same. So I mean, like, I liked the stuff that they did and the liberties that I took, and I just took it as a different alternate take on Power Rangers. But I mean, I can understand where some of the things that you said were. I agree with some of the things that you said, but I don't. I think that's like nitpicking some of the things that you said. But some of the things that you also said, I agree with you on. Yeah. So I don't want to take that away from you. But I feel like I just don't want this reboot. I want this reboot to be like a sequel to where, in a sense, but maybe take the concerns that you had and fix them and also make it into a sequel. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm all for that.
Because I don't want to see the same exact movie, you know, but in a different take. I don't want to see them fight Rita and stuff and they're getting their powers and, you know, stuff like that. I want to see the next thing. I want to see Zeo, you know. That's what I want to see. I want to see the next franchise, you know.
And so far, only the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers have gotten anything big budget like this.
They make a Turbo movie too.
I think it was like a made-for-TV movie, or maybe it was.
It was made an actual movie because then they did a version. Then they did like 3 episodes of the show that were an alternate version of the movie, but it wasn't the same exact thing.
Oh, okay. Then maybe that's what it is that I saw. But yeah, I think you're right. I know that they had the Dino Force movie or whatever, the second Power Rangers movie. And that one was pretty cool. It had a terrible storyline, but I mean, I don't know. I guess whenever I think Power Rangers, I think, especially with movies, I think more of like, you know, Ivan Ooze. You need an interesting character, and don't get me wrong, Elizabeth Banks is a great actress, but this whole thing of her being a half golem, half crack addict thing was weird and at the same time disturbing.
Yeah, but I would love to see that storyline, which I said in a form, and see. I think Master Vile in a movie form would be really cool, because I mean, he's a good villain. Or even if you wanted to directly do the Machine Empire, because that's the Zeo thing. If you want to do that and just have Master Vile at the beginning, and then, or whatever you wanted to do, like, I feel like you could do something. You need to do something, you know. But Zach, do you have anything to add on that? Did you like the Power Ranger reboot movie?
Yeah, I don't think it was bad. Yeah, like you said, I mean, I think it was just a different take on it. I don't think they're trying to be a lot like the show or anything.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and just to re-add that clarifier, I don't want anybody to think that I thought the movie was a bad movie. It was a good movie. It just, to me, was not a Power Rangers story. You know, I guess that's the best way of putting it.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people felt that way, but I mean,
I just don't want a whole bunch of inbox messages about John Wick like last time.
That
all
inbox
right.
message about John Wick.
Hmm?
You got people messaging you about John Wick.
Yeah, because Nick started this whole hate on Ryan for not appreciating John Wick thing
Heavens.
going.
But let's move on. Speaking of Power Rangers, so Bat in the Sun, which is most known for Superpower Beatdown, is making a alternate fan movie called Legend of the White Dragon. They have a Kickstarter up. They have a trailer for it, or not like a trailer. They film a scene, I guess. And they have several Power Rangers old Power Rangers involved in it, including Jason David Frank and Johnny Young Bosch, who played Adam, and they're involved in the project. And it's an alternate take, which we talked about before, because like it's not Angel Grove, it's Angel Graves is the city, and this is like set. It's really, I don't really know what the storyline is because they haven't given so much, but taking it from the. Has anyone else watched the scene?
Yeah, I watched it.
So basically, I think they used to be Power Rangers, and then somebody came in and took their powers, I guess, or something. But now some of them, all of them except for Tommy, work for this other organization or something and got powers. And then they give him a white dragon crystal, which is, I guess, is like a combination of the White Ranger and the Green Ranger put together. And he has a daughter or something. I don't know exactly of it. It looks freaking awesome, though. That's all I do know.
Yeah, on Kickstarter they want $500,000. They've already raised $100,000.
Yeah, in 6 days. In 6 days, they have to meet their goal in 30 days, and in 6 days they're already 1/5 of the way there. So,
Yeah, like I looked on there and 3 people donated $10,000. Like I'm like, who are those people?
somebody donated like $25,000 or something like that.
That's
I
crazy.
thought,
Oh,
yeah. Ryan, have you watched it?
I have not. It's on my playlist to watch later today. I did not see that on the show notes until just now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And it goes right along with the Power Ranger thing, because it's kind of made me think because Jason David Frank was at the end of that Power Ranger reboot movie too, and this is an alternate take, but it's a fan made thing, so it's a little different. But Superpower Beatdown, they make great shorts, and so I'm interested to see what they do with. Of course, they did like a Batman City of Scars. I think it was a fan film. It was like 30 minutes long, but this is like going to be like a feature length film that they're making. And so if they get their $500,000 goal that they're wanting, they're going to have like Megazord battles and shit and all kinds of craziness. If you look on the Kickstarter campaign, you can see what all they're going to add on it. And so I'm pretty excited about it. And it was really cool to see Jason David Frank and Johnny Young Bosch, because I like both of those guys, and seeing them and that their involvement with it is pretty cool. So which Bat in the Sun were just normal people that started making videos, and now they're have a Kickstarter that's well on its way to making $500,000.
don't worry, that's one day, all right.
Live the dream, man.
Just don't give up, and that'll be us.
Yep.
But yeah, Ryan, you should definitely check it out. Being a huge Power Ranger fan, I really think that you should be the one that watches it.
I will. I will definitely give the trailer a watch and check out more on it and give you my input on it on next episode.
Cool. Awesome. Moving on. Ubisoft coming back in the news here. They've announced the game list for their Uplay service, which we correctly predicted was going to be announced at E3, and then it was. There's 116 games on the list. 116 games, ranging from all the franchises that we've mentioned in our list that we did at the top of the show, and so many more. Cause like I said, it's got 116 games. There's like freaking I think there's like a 16 or 11. I think 11. There's 11 Assassin's Creed games, or 15 Assassin's Creed games, like 19 or 20 something Tom Clancy games. So many freaking games. It's only $15 a month, by the way, and it comes out September 3rd on Steam, PC, and I know it's going to be coming out on Google Stadia whenever that comes out as well. Hopefully we get a PS4 version of it, because God, for $15 a month, I mean, that 116 games, I could literally not, and they have new games whenever the new games come out, like when Ghost Recon Breakpoint comes out in October, it's going to be put on the service. So it's kind of like how Xbox Game Pass is when they have new game come out. It's on the service. There's 4 new games come out, like Gods and Monsters is a new game that's going to be coming out next year. There's 4 new games that will be coming out within the next year that will be put on the service the day it comes out. But seriously, for like, I could just spend 6 months playing the games off this service and not play anything else. Like, so many games.
I feel like it would take longer than that.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying that I could devote 6 months of time and not buy any new games, just play games off this service. It's got all the Far Cry games, all the Tom Clancy games, all the so that means all the Splinter Cell, Division, what else did we mention? All the Assassin's Creed games. Monopoly Plus is on there.
Our top 5s are on there.
Prince of Persia, the South Park games, Beyond Good and Evil. So many games. Like, this is like a steal. Like, it's almost unfair that we're getting this.
Yeah.
It's unfair we're getting Monopoly Plus.
I mean, $15 a month to play Monopoly Plus, please sign me up.
I already own Monopoly Plus, actually.
Oh, you do?
I bought it for like $1 one time when it was on sale. But,
have you ever played it?
yeah, I played it a little bit. So if you ever want to play Monopoly with me online, let's do it.
Z-Bandit on PS4. Add them now. Play Monopoly. What Monopoly piece do you choose when you play?
The trash can, obviously.
Because you're a crouch?
I am the top hat. I'll always be the top hat. And if you take my top hat, I will play banker and I will shiest you on money.
I'd like to get the boot every single time, because that way I can kick your ass.
I'm giving you the boot to this Monopoly conversation. Let's move on.
Seriously, dude, get Uplay Plus. Ryan, you're the only one. Oh no, I guess you and Jeremiah could both get it because y'all play PC.
Monopoly Plus alone is worth it. So, God, I love that game. I've only played it once, but I love it.
Just to let you know, when you move back to Arkansas, we're going to have you a Monopoly Plus shirt ready for whenever you move here. It'll be your welcome party that we throw you.
And can we play Monopoly Plus together?
Yeah, of course. Ryan, remember that. Write that down.
We're going to have a game night and play. We're all 4 of us is going to play Monopoly Plus.
Can we just play regular Monopoly, like at a coffee table?
I have electronic Monopoly, too.
Oh,
electronic banking Monopoly. We don't even have to have paper money. We can just use the credit cards.
We don't have to do any money at all, or any cards, or any boards, or any pieces. We just use the PS4. And then if someone gets mad, instead of flipping the board off the table, you can just throw the TV.
We're playing at Ryan's house.
Well, someone will his TV.
Okay.
Or Jeremiah's. We'll just play at Jeremiah's house. He's not here
Okay.
to say no.
Yep. Hey, Jeremiah, can we play at your house? Oh, sure.
Jeremiah impressions, horrible. But speaking of games, though, let's move on. SuperMassive Games is making an 8-game horror anthology series called Dark Pictures. The first game that's coming out, it's called Man of Medan. It's coming out August 30th. I'm pretty excited about this, even though I don't like horror games, but I just thought it was a really cool idea that these games that they're doing an 8-game anthology series.
Yeah.
So basically, each game is going to be different. Each game is going to have a different storyline. Each game is going to have a different way to play it. It's going to be just the same exact game, that you play with a different storyline or whatever. It's not, everything will be different. The way you play it will be different. Nothing will be connected except for there's one character called the Curator, and his storyline, he will be in every one of the games, and they have already planned out the storyline for his entire storyline, his or her entire storyline throughout the entire 8 games, and they also have each of the games' 8 storylines, individual storylines planned out. They have literally sunk so much idea into these games that it's so impressive. So just the idea alone really sold me on it. And like I said, I don't really play a lot of horror games. Horror's not really my thing. I don't watch horror movies or anything like that. I did play Resident Evil 7 and really loved that. So I do want to give this a try. And plus, it's co-op. At least the first one is. And so I told Zach I'd play it with him.
Yeah, I had been reading into that game, or at least that collection. And seems like they've got some really high ambitions, and I'm actually curious to see what all they got in store, especially if they have a 8-game plan already set up. I'm definitely down to give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, you got to, just because the work they did to set it up. I mean, I think that's pretty impressive. Zach, are you excited about it?
Super duper excited.
Super duper.
Super.
I like horror games. I think there's not really enough of them, to be honest.
Oh, you're getting 8 more, buddy. Yowie wowie.
Like
8.
the Evil Within is awesome, and like some of the old school PC horror games. But
Yeah, you like Resident Evil games, right?
what about Resident Evil? But I can't think of the name of the horror game. But it's like first person, like
Luigi's Mansion.
no, it's first person like Resident Evil.
First person. That's third person, you idiot.
Oh.
What?
He said Luigi's Mansion, and I told him it was first person. It was third person.
Yeah. So
Give us some more hints to this
Silent
game.
Hill, is that the one you're thinking of?
no, it's like I own it too.
Oh my god.
I don't remember the name. Sorry.
Is it a newer game?
No, it's kind of older.
Okay. What did it come out on?
I think it originally came out on the PC, but I have it on. I own it on Steam, and I also have it through PlayStation Plus on PS4.
It's not the Evil Within?
No,
Five
Is it-
Nights at Freddy's.
Evil Within didn't come originally on the PC.
I don't know. Wait, you're the horror game expert.
I have no idea what game he's talking about.
Is it game starting with that O? What's that game called?
Omen?
Oh,
No.
here it is. That's what I was thinking of. Amnesia. Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Oh.
One more time.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Amnesia.
Yeah, The
Interesting.
Dark Descent. It's a really creepy horror game. Like I almost couldn't get through it. Like, it was fucking scary.
Well, if you can't get through it, I'm not gonna play it because
Like, yeah, there's just like this one part that like I think I actually quit the game. I
Did you
just
get scared?
I did it. I just stopped playing it. Like it was freaking me out, so I just stopped playing.
just can't do this.
Amnesia was freaky. Like if you turn off all the lights and you have Amnesia playing and you put your headphones on, like surround sound headphones, and you black out everything, yeah, it's fucking scary.
Amnesia is scary. Don't remember who you are. What?
Yeah,
Well,
you.
Does it
waking
have
up.
to do with the game? The game, does it have to do with actual amnesia?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
halfway
wake
through
up
the
and
storyline, you forget that you're playing the game.
the character in the game doesn't remember who he is or how he got to like this house that you're in. But
Oh, okay.
Oh,
another
gotcha.
good horror game that I forgot about is Fatal Frame was really good.
And like we've told you before, you should play Alan Wake.
Oh yeah, you guys told me about that,
Yeah.
but I don't listen to your guys' suggestions. So
But Jeremiah suggested it. And you listened to
yeah,
Jeremiah.
yeah.
Okay. I had a rumor that I wanted to talk to you guys about and get
Okay,
y'all's
cool.
opinion on.
Or is this how we're ending the show?
Website. We got this covered. Who has been correct on Marvel cinematic information in the past, has announced today that they have uncovered how Deadpool will be introduced into the MCU.
Man.
They have said, yeah, they
That's
said
crazy.
that.
But well, hold on a second.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Did you submit this story to me for approval ahead of time?
Oh no.
Oh, you didn't go through the proper approval channel.
Oh, hey, do I have your permission?
You're supposed to let me know ahead of time the night before, so that way, if we don't know what we're talking about, we can get the information.
This is just based. I just want your opinions on the rumor. I'm not stating this as official fact.
Okay, so this is just a rumor, and you just want our opinions on it.
Yes. So apparently they say that they have found out that Deadpool will be introduced into the MCU by being the Peter Parker partner in Spider-Man 3, and will have a full role in the next Avengers movie. How do you guys feel about this, and do you feel like this is something that Marvel and Feige would actually do?
Feige's already said that Deadpool is not going to be introduced through Spider-Man.
Okay.
And also, I don't think they'd wait that long to introduce Deadpool, because that's a money franchise.
Yes.
But I'm pretty certain that there was already a rumor of Spider-Man and Deadpool teaming up in Spider-Man 3, and it was already shot down by Sony and Kevin Feige like a month or so ago.
Okay.
Don't quote me exactly on that, but I'm pretty certain, because there was like 3 rumors of Spider-Man and Deadpool or Spider-Man related news that day, and they were all shut down.
Okay. If you want, I tried waiting for a pause. If you want to edit that out, I understand.
No. You're good. We'll leave this on here. We're all good. All good.
But yeah, the news story just came out today from that website, and I wanted to get y'all's opinion on it, of how y'all felt about it. That they're saying that they got apparently a copy of Reynolds' contract, or at least bits and pieces of it, to say that he would be introduced in the next Spider-Man movie.
I've decided not to comment on rumors anymore, and I've been trying not to put them as news parts on our show because I don't want to retroact stuff whenever it gets.
That's why I was saying I understood if you wanted to cut it out.
No. No, because I also want to mention that since you say that, don't forget this Saturday. Right now it's Comic-Con going on. So if you listen to this, today is Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, Saturday. It's Comic-Con this weekend. Plenty of news coming out where on Saturday at Hall H, you're going to get the next 5 years of Marvel MCU movies are going to be announced. So all these rumors will come to head and we won't have to give a shit about rumors anymore or anything like that because you're going to know what's happening in the next 5 years. So nothing against what you said. But yeah. We're going to know what's going to happen in the next 5 years this Saturday. And so next week, we'll be back, all four of us. Hopefully Ron will get up. And so it's been such a bit since we've had all four of us together. But as saying, Jeremiah will be back next week, and we'll be doing tons of stuff on Comic-Con. There'll be tons of news. Make sure you're looking at our page, facebook.com /Blind Bandit Productions, because we're going to post pretty much anything that we see that's interesting from Comic-Con. I will be posting stuff, and you guys post stuff too. That way, anything, if we don't see someone else has posted it about from Comic-Con, there's going to be so much news from San Diego Comic-Con. You should check our page. Maybe we should do it by like days. I don't know. We'll talk more about it afterwards, after the show, about how we should do it, because we shouldn't overload post. Yeah. Maybe we should do like a post every several hours or something, and it just has like all the links. Yeah, like a recap or something like that, and then just post like trailers or something or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But as I said, stay tuned to our page to get all the news. You'll be able to hear us talk about some of it now in next week's episode, but we're not going to be able to talk about everything. So if you want to know some things and you don't like reading up on stuff, you can just see it on our page. But don't forget about our other pages that you can go to besides Facebook. We're on Twitter at BBP for Real. We're on Instagram, Blind Bandit Productions. We already said a website. Facebook, we got that taken care of. Don't forget to like us. Besides liking us on Facebook, leave us a review on Facebook or leave us a review on iTunes. And listen to us on all the other platforms like Spotify or wherever else you want to listen to this podcast. We thank you so much for taking 2 hours out of your day to listen to this episode 30. The show is almost older than Zach. So that's pretty exciting. So that's about all that I got, guys. Everybody else good?
We didn't miss you, Jeremiah.
We missed you, Jeremiah.
I missed you very much.
I missed you tons.
I almost cried when I found out you had to work today.
All right, guys. Well, he did. And we thank you so much for listening. Be here next week. #good stuff.